Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome so much to the traditional Heroes Lounge Playoff Draw Show, one of the biggest events on the esports calendar. I am your friendly neighborhood Latino Narja and will steer the ship during the next hours. That's right. I'm back to host the show with a smooth flow we all know and love, not dead yet, but getting really old in a new place, but the same face without a computer, but still a sharpshooter. You are correct. For the very first time, I'm trusting Apple to deliver the draw show hardware. So if anything is not way better than last time, we blame them. Yes, I might be getting older, but nowhere close to the age of the Heroes Lounge resident producer Simbar, that once again is pressing all of the buttons in the background. So a big shout out to him. He's one of the many people involved with tonight's show, cause I can't do this alone. Oh, no, no, no. First, let's check in with the magical and mysterious voice that will be helping out through the show. Now, Karis is a character featured in the Universal Studios Mummy series in the 1940s, following their original 1932 film, The Mummy. The Charites, or Graces were three goddesses of grace, beauty, adornment, joy, mirth, festivity, dance, and song. A number of younger Charites presided over the pleasures of life, including play, amusement, banqueting, floral decorations, happiness, rest, and relaxation. And Charalampos Mavrias, known as Charis Mavrias, is a Greek professional football player who plays as a right midfielder for Cypriotic club Omonia. So, Charis, welcome to the stream.
Welcome, everybody, and thank you, Nasha, for that fantastic, verbose introduction. I'm going to be here this evening as the stats provider. So I'm here in Stats Corner, ready to crunch some numbers for you, for your viewing delight.
Indeed. So every time you wonder about where that mysterious voice is coming from, that is Charis bringing us his knowledge. He is. I kind of imagine you sitting there like in an air pilot or something with like tons of screens and all these stats and running Excel sheets and things like that. Is that kind of true?
Yep, that's exactly right. I'm just surrounded by screens, like in a movie. But it's like Minority Report, and I just move my fingers, and it tells me the stats of the players.
Very cool to hear. Now, before we move on, you are obviously very involved in the Heroes Lounge community, the organization. You play a vital role in making all these things happen. And tell us a little bit about season. Is it 11 that we have put behind us now?
Yeah, season 11's been an absolutely amazing season for Heroes Lounge. I think a lot of people expected after the demise of HGC, you get some people saying Hots is dead. Well, Heroes Lounge has continued with basically as many teams as it did in the previous season, still going very strong. There's top level amateur play going on in Heroes Lounge, and the standard of play seems so high, and not just people playing matches, but they're also being cast. We've uh, of the games played this season, which is 746 matches, 196 of them have been cast by our in-house amateur casters, which is over 25%.
That is pretty impressive indeed. I think I made some big talk about coming back to casting. I think I did one game last season, but at least I did something. So I'm going to try to feel good about that, and we can move on to some important information that we're going to give all of you before we move on to the drawing itself. Because the Heroes Lounge consists of a lot of fun stuff and important notes that you can note down in addition to some glorious trophies that we are going to show off on the screen in a second now, that will go on to that will sent out to the winners of the rare, epic, legendary, and mythic cup. Those are pretty impressive, Caris.
Yes, those trophies are very, very impressive indeed, and they are manufactured by ETH, personally handmade with a 3D printer for Heroes Lounge. So thank you, ETH, for providing these trophies. But yes, you, if you are in the playoffs, can be the winner of one of these fantastic trophies.
Because we are obviously going to get into some drawing soon, as the teams will over the next weeks head into the group stages before the rare cup final. will be held on the 21st of March. All of that good action can, of course, be seen here on the Heroes Lounge Twitch channel. And there's no reason not to follow it, because the following day, the 22nd of March, it's the finals for the Epic Cup. And then we finish strong the next week on the weekend of 28th and 29th of March with the playoff finals for both the Legendary and then the Mythic Cup. So those are all the most important weekends to put down in your calendar to follow the glorious esport action that's going to be going down on through the Heroes Lounge. But then the season will be over. And while we've been waiting for the next season to start, it's kind of like always people trying to find something else to do and to make sure that they don't play other games like League of Legends. There will be held an off-season tournament, that have different kinds of themes every year. This year, there will be off-meta maps that includes Hanamura, Warhead, Braxis, Blackheart, Haunted Mines, Lost Cavern, with Draft, and Garden of Terror. Sign up for all of that opens on the 1st of March. Wait a minute, that's today. And close 10 days later on the 11th of March. So group up with some friends and get together for a more casual and fun Heroes of the Storm tournament. The group phase starts on the 15th of March with the bracket and finals on the 4th and 5th of April. So shouldn't even need to take a lot of time. Karis, do you plan to sign up for the off-season off-meta tournaments?
I've never been into ARAM, and the previous ones have been ARAM tournaments, but here, now we're getting these off-meta maps, and it's going to be full draft, as you mentioned. I think I may well be signing up. It includes Garden of Terror, by the way, which is consistently the least picked map in the normal division. And what Heroes Lounge has decided is, it was so unpopular, let's give players more chances to play it.
Yeah, why not? Force it down their throats. They're gonna like it eventually. Yeah, I might sign up myself. It's gonna might give me a great opportunity to have or excuse to play Nasibo, which is pretty much all I do when I play Heroes of the Storm these days. But then, after we're done with all of this season 11 stuff, we're gonna head into season 12, and the signups opens right about now. It closes on the 5th of April, so you got some time to getting the big band back together before the season start on the 20th of April. Season 12, that feels kind of crazy, thinking back to the first Reddit post made by the Pet Man for season 1 all those years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been a long time for Heroes Lounge, and still going strong, like I said, and we expect it to keep going for a long time still. So it's great to see the strength of the Heroes of the Storm competitive community still playing on. And as you say, sign up for season 12s, get cracking.
Yeah, just get that group of people back together or start to keep playing. I hope that tonight's show at least will push them in the right direction. But because before we move on to the guests, because we're gonna have guests, lots of them, and with camera, so you don't have to only look at me all night. We are gonna show off some of the highlights from season 11, some of the best reasons why to be hyped for the next weeks as we're heading into the Heroes of the Storm Heroes Lounge playoffs. So yeah, let's see some highlights.
They've gone into the backline. Jojroxy gets the stuff with the new break. He's going to get locked down soon enough, but the sleep and the stuns and the dragons are
back up now, though, so they could get an Abathur clone in here. Lovely stun, though, from Blaze and ETC combined. That's why they went for that combo. Can they catch the Joanna? She has the Iron Skin, starts running away. The Leaping Strike comes in, tries to catch on to Joanna. The Iron Skin, no! 11 HP!
Gets a lot of resets, tries to reach the bunker. Bunker goes down. Everything expires. What a stun! Are they gonna get more lucky on the Maiev?
Lucky! Can you catch Erica? Yes, you can. Very locked down. Does manage to survive, though, because of that massive self-healing he's got. And Malfurion's been destroyed by Chen. And now Chen comes the Boogie Wonderland, starts to chase Hanzo's already down. Squeaky, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, and down it goes. And there's the wind tunnel. It's absolutely savage into the corner for Irel and Sylvanas. Sylvanas can escape. Irel bubble hearthing just to tease the enemy team. That's what we might like to see here, ladies and gentlemen.
They place 3 men. Rotation surge in the meantime, but combustion training strike ring of frost, and goodbye Zarya, goodbye Morphil, goodbye Garrett, goodbye Vala.
This is absolutely insane. 3 members down. I don't think Joxy could do anything, even with the help of this Muradin on the dark, played by Darkwolf. I think he might get body blocked out here. The body blocks by Oxa. Does he have the jump available? The clap heals. Can you survive for a couple more ticks? He can! He can! Played by Darkwolf. What a ballerina here by the Dwarf play.
Oh, got blown up, and Sidonian is on a roll. And there's the mosh pit to clean them up, and that is 4 kills. Iron
she's
Skin
taking a
has
lot of
now been
damage.
used, and that means that she's starting to lose a lot of health here. Oh my god, did you see that? 3 men with
wailing
the arrow in the back line?
Oh my god.
Damage.
Indeed.
Oh,
Huge flank from
Stun
another
into
noob with a
wall
nice
challenge.
light bomb.
Double stun, 3 kills.
Doesn't land it.
Lana
Pyroblast.
with the Pyroblast. It's going to be enough.
Oh
Yes,
my
it
god,
is.
yes it is.
Boss zoning a lot of people there. The Hacker goes down. Mal'Ganis tries to get some damage done. He gets a light bomb. Explodes by the Li Ming before it pops. Zeratul in the backline.
Oh,
Thrown her with the double root.
big boy roots.
Earthquake follow up. Oh my god.
Hands
Oh,
arrow
big
coming
arrow.
down. Does land though. Big arrow. ETC with the top with the light bomb as well. And that's going to be 2 kills. They want more here as Li Ming gets the kill resets.
One in the best spot, but there's the place shield. Fall up. There's Strafe coming in. The cast into the wall. The big stun from Misha, and goodbye X on Black.
Yeah, but they've gone into the backline. Joxy gets the stun for the Nubrak. He's going to get locked down soon enough, but the sleep and the stuns and the dragons are...
Back.
Damn, that's a lot of enjoyable plays, and very enjoyable to see all the enthusiasm in chat over them. A lot of those players that we saw in those clips, we will also see in the draw later tonight, and some of them we might even be able to see and hear here on stream. And let's just get straight to that, as you are obviously very curious about the people that have joined us now. First, we have Fengshen, and Fengshen is the romanticization of several Chinese words and may refer to a Chinese epic fantasy novel written during the Ming Dynasty, a Japanese anime loosely based on the mentioned novel, a Chinese automobile mark, and a Type 3 and 5 Super Typhoon. Who we will get, I'm not sure, but yeah, welcome to Fengshen.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for having me. The Chinese novel is actually what my name was derived from.
I was very curious about that. Yeah, there we go. Do you have a very special affiliation for Japanese epic fantasy novels?
No, it's Chinese, and no, not really. It's just a game I used to play in the past was based on it, and I thought the name was really cool, so I adopted it as a nickname.
And then you put all of that behind you and only played Heroes of the Storm, and that's why you're here tonight. You're going to be our expert for the Division 6 and 7, the Rare Cup.
Yes, that's what I aim to be.
I'm pretty sure you will do a fine job. We will hear much more from you later, but for now, let's introduce our second guest. His name's Strider, and okay, Strider, it could be a bunch of stuff, pretty much like the standard English title of Leo Tolstoy's novella called Stromer. It can also be a juvenile fiction novel by Beverly Cleary. Strider, an alias of Aragorn, a character from The Lord of the Rings. Strider, a giant mech in Stanislav Lery's 1987 novel Fiasco. And least but not least, Strider Hirio is the lead star in video games Strider 1, Strider 2, Strider 3, Strider 4, and Strider 5. But welcome to the Heroes of the Storm, Strider.
Thank you. Hello, hello. Very happy to be here, and thank you for inviting me back from last season. You're right. It's always a wonder how you can find all these relevances for the names, but mine was more for the Lord of the Rings character, of course.
You a big Aragorn fan?
I guess my 9-year-old self or whatever was like, yeah, this guy's kind of cool. So
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna choose from now on.
Yeah, okay, I thought Legolas was all the rage with the 9 years old back in the days, but then again, I don't know them really well. And anyway, to all the it's very good to have you back. As you mentioned, you were on last year's playoff draw show, did a phenomenal job. So why not have you back this time? You're going to be our expert for the Epic Cup Division 4 and 5. Is that something you're looking forward to?
Yeah, it's sure. It's going to. I'm sure it'll be a very exciting cup. Lots of good teams, lots of good players, of course, and we'll see what the dice or what the balls say.
We will definitely fondle some balls during this stream. A bunch of them is going to be rolled out to see which teams will meet each other in the Heroes Lounge playoffs for the different divisions. But before we get into the real ball drawing, we can draw a decent amount of information from the season that has gone. And to do that, we are very lucky to have Karis here on voice because he has all the numbers. And why not we get up, we get some here, and you can give us a quick rundown on Division 6 and 7 from the Heroes Lounge Season 11.
Yeah, so we start tonight looking at the Rare Cup. That's teams from Division 6 and 7, as you say, in which 265 different players have participated in 374 games. And there's a broad range of heroes too. These are the only divisions in which every single hero has been played at least once. And straight away, you can see the main distinguishing feature of the meta at these divisions is Kael'thas. The Rare Cup is the only time tonight where you'll see Kael'thas appearing in the top 3 bans. He's been banned in 42% of Division 6 and 7 games, compared to just like 2% ban rate in Division 1. And with that Kael'thas ban, you see prioritization there coming onto a couple of other majors, Jaina and Li Ming, and it's slightly unusual to see them in such a high pick rate. Of course, Kael'thas isn't the only ban, or even the top one, so across all the Heroes Lounge divisions this season, Deathwing's been the most banned hero. This in spite of the fact that teams weren't even allowed to pick him under Lounge rules until round 4. And of course, Joanna there we'll see with a lot of popularity throughout the divisions. So taking a look at some individually impactful players, the highest average KDA came from Miriam456. Now, sadly, their team X-Zone didn't qualify for the Rare Cup, so the highest for anyone going to the Rare Cup is from Palkia from Heroes of the Kong. Their KDA was more than double the average for the division, and it's mostly been done on Junkrat, with whom they've got an incredible 70% win rate, so that's one to watch out for. But it's not all about kills. It's also worth mentioning Xenor of Hauki Gaming in Division 7, who secured 40 clutch heals, more than any other player in the Red Divisions. And also Cryon of the Rantners, who had the highest average healing per game of any player. And we'll see more of them in the Rare Cup, so keep an eye on them. And finally, Rare Cups were not on average longer than any other division, but they did have the longest overall game at 36 minutes and 27 seconds. That was UKW Akalichi Jaina Kael'thas III versus Shadow Slayers, and that was the 10th longest game in Heroes Lounge history. Back to you, Nasha.
That is what I call thorough. The 10th longest game in Heroes Lounge history. That's a pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and that was in Division 6 and 7. That was the longest game this season.
Definitely. And I don't know. I just think it's fascinating to see how much of these interesting stats that come up in terms of heroes played, map played, stuff like that. It kind of gives it a feeling of that the English word that I can't come up with, that I don't know what will happen, pretty much. And that is always interesting. We're gonna draw the Rare Cup right away and get away from my terrible English. Division 6 and 7. We're going to start with Pool 1, that is the highest seeded teams. They will be drawn into each of their own groups, and let's see who gets into group number 1 pretty much. Let's hit the button that rolls the ball and get them bouncing over our screen here. It has to be said that this ball machine had to be updated a lot for this year's version, but luckily Eve stepped up once again and helped us out. The Nasha tiny balls are being loaded up, at least digitally, and we'll see that into Group C goes Sloth High Lords, the first and highest seeded team.
Indeed, they after a bad season in Division 5 last year, they got placed into Division 6, and now, right into the first spot. Chez Plus de Force was actually in Division 3 in Season 9, but took a hiatus from then and returned to Division 6 to play in Heroes Lounge.
Then some returning teams so far, at least. Slot Hylers being the highest seeded, going to be interesting to keep a look at. But then we see Renai Clan going into Group B.
Yes. They actually played in the Rare Cup from Division 6 last season and last year as well. They lost in the semifinals to 21 Esports back then, who is not participating in this Rare Cup now.
Rumors even says it that Slot Hylords are 10 out of 10 in matches, and that does seem very impressive. And lastly, from the top seeded teams are Phoenix Gaming into Group D.
Yes, they are a new team from what I could see. I didn't find very much other information from them, but well, they came in, they rocked Division 6, so they are definitely one to watch.
Interesting. There we have them, the top seeded teams in the Heroes Lounge Medium Rare Dun Cup. We're going to move on, of course, to draw their opponents as we move on to the second highest seeded groups of teams. There we see them bouncing around the wall. First, we're going to go on to... does anyone want to go?
Prosoniklaas Blazerend. It's easily the hardest name to pronounce in Division 6. They were 21st in Division 9, Season 9, Division 6, 10th in the last season, and they played a lot of ARAMs as well.
ARAM is always good practice. Here we see Fat Nova, aka Free Agent Team Nova, going into Group A.
Yep, who are not that much of a free agent team anymore after 3 solid seasons in Division 6. Well, I think it's one of the only ones that didn't change their name somewhere during the seasons.
Yeah, I do enjoy that when a free agent team sticks by their name. Remembering back to free agent team number 5, that was named that for a while. Lastly, Salami Jalapeno Pizza.
Yeah, they are a new team comprised of members that have played before. Most notably, I saw some people in there from Friend, who were in Division 7 last season and a FAT back then. Also seeded into Group B are the Kings of Division 7 and playing in Division 6 this year, the Bacon Landlords, of course.
They're gonna go up against the Renai Clan. I see Hinata reacting in the chat here. That might be a very interesting team up. But so far, it seemed like the top seeded teams from the second group all went straight after their the top seeded teams from the first round. With Proson the Glass Blazer team going up against Slot Hylords, and same with the free agent team Nova.
Indeed. It's very well balanced, I'd say, overall, looking at the overall rankings right now of the teams, how they played during this season. So definitely very interesting group so far.
And remember, after the drawing is done, we're going to get a poll going up on the screen here where you can vote on who you think will win the Rare Cup and which position they will get in the group play. Obviously has a big impact on that. But let's get on to the third seeded teams. Here we go. The first team is Inaqualis.
Yes, INA Equalis, or however you pronounce it. They were actually a long-time Division 2 team. Dropped out during the last season after only 3 matches. And signed up for this season and got placed in Division 7. And they are, well, let's just say their most picked hero last season was Cho'Gall.
Oh, I like that. That's a very promising, to be honest. But going on Stray Dogs, going into the next group.
Yep, the top killers, basically. Out of the top 8, they've beaten 5 other teams in the same top 8, which is by far the most in this division. They are a new team and have a high focus for Thrall play, apparently.
And then the Facepalm Technicians going into Group D.
Yeah, they were playing in Division 7 last season as well. They ended up in the 16th spot back then. I actually played against them back then. And they like to play Vala and Brightwing by the looks of it. And Malf somehow gets banned quite a lot, as in Malfurion, against them.
And thinking about the infamous team in Genocide, here we have the finishing up Group B, going up against the Bacon Landlords and Rena Clan. Is it just me, or does Group C starting to shape up like a scary group?
They do look like a very scary group indeed. It's the top seeds of Division 6 and 7, and the number 5 of Division 6, which was the highest seed out of the second run. So yeah, that's a straight monk-ass for me.
Yeah, something to keep an eye on for sure. We'll see what lucky team from the fourth seeded teams that gets to go into Group C. First, we're gonna have the C team. The C team? Is that how we said it in English?
The Z team, C team, depending on what kind of spelling you prefer.
It's like my fourth language.
Yeah, fair enough. The Z team, Z team, however you want to pronounce it, had a lot of frontline bans against them this season. So yeah, I guess their frontline is scary. I haven't seen them play myself, but we'll see them play in the Rare Cup, of course. The Rentners, the most cast season in the last season, 9 out of their 10 games actually got cast. And they were the only Pool 3 team from the last Rare Cup to participate in this Rare Cup.
That might give them some extra experience. And now we have Heroes of the Kong.
Yeah, another new team showing up in Division 7, coming in and, well, getting straight up to the 7th place. They show a lot of Junkrat play this season, so that's always one to watch out for.
Definitely. That very annoying Rect can definitely ruin your day. And lastly here, we have, sorry about that, we have...
Dazzling Smile.
Dazzling Smile, there we go.
Yes, they like to play the more compact maps, as in Tomb of the Spider Queen, for example. And you'll see them play ETC and Anduin quite a lot. And I think they were the only team that never banned Deathwing in this season.
They really don't care about that overgrown rats. But there we have it. There are the groups. Most likely we'll be able to get some polling going any second now, so we can get some votes. Here you see them on the screen. You see the groups, you see all the teams, and who will win the Rare Cup. It's very easy to get your comments into the chat right now. It should explain everything you need to get your votes in, and if you're lucky, we're going to see it here right on the fly, what teams are getting the votes. And Strider, I'm not sure how familiar you are with the Division 6 and 7, but just looking from the groups, what do you have any thoughts?
Well, we played when we were, as Nexus is Most Wanted, we spent some time in Division 7 as well, and we've played with and against, we've played against the Rantners and the Sloth High Lords, I think, which were both very good teams, of course. So it's going to be interesting how it's gonna all show up. It's what I think is the most interesting tidbit is the fact that there was one team that didn't ban Deathwing at all. That was quite surprising. But,
which team did you say that was, Fiction?
Dazzling Smile, but I got a correction from BW Bloody, who is the captain of Sloth Highlanders, that he thought that they didn't ban him either. So I might be mistaken. I do know for sure that Dazzling Smile never banned him once.
Unfortunately, they're not doing so hot in the vote right about now, but we see Sloth High Lords are the people's favorite as of now. Might not be very surprising, seeing how high they receded going into the draw. But Feng Shen, what are your thoughts?
Well, the Group C looks like a very, very scary group, showing the top seeds out of all 4 groups. So the number 1 and 5 from Division 6 and Division 7 all put together.
But then, of course,
You're
it's the Bacon landlords. Like they were a big, they got a lot of hype in the chat I saw, and it seems like that is also influencing the vote for sure. 27% of the people voting think they will win the whole thing.
I mean, they are very, very popular. Back before I came to Lounge, watching their replays being cast by Caldor was, well, the most fun I had in a long while. Actually made me sign up for Heroes Lounge back then. So I can see why they are this popular still. Will they make it? I do hope they get far. We'll see how far.
Mhm. And of course, most things that has to do with Bacon, I'm a big fan of. It's going to be exciting to follow the Bacon landlords as they go through the group stages for the Heroes Lounge playoffs. All of this you can, of course, follow here on this very Twitch channel, and all of our casters get a hold of our Discord if you would like to follow everything that happens here. There is a button if you scroll a little bit down on your Twitch. Okay, that's the Rare Cup. We have all the teams, we have all the groups. It seems like Group C is the group of death. If we need to call out one.
Yeah, by far. I mean, the other groups, they are all very interesting, but I will be taking a close look at whatever happens in Group C, because that's bound to be good.
And this will all lead up to the playoff finals on the 21st of March. So if you want to see if the Bacon landlords can go all the way, or if the Dazzling Smiles might pull it out, pay attention around that time. But that was the Rare Cup. Let's move on. We got 3 more to go, and we have spent a lot of time already. The Epic Cup is next on our platter, and of course, before we get really into the ball fondling, we need some numbers. Aquarius, you got it, don't you?
Yeah, so Epic Cup is made up of divisions 4 and 5, and these have been the busiest divisions, with 350 players playing 433 games this season. That's a lot of games. Now, a recurring theme that you're going to see tonight is that the higher the division we go, the more Battlefield of Eternity gets played. So here in Division 4 and 5, it's crept into third place with 13% of all games. So if we take a look at the heroes, the meta in in these divisions more closely resembles what you're going to see in the higher divisions, with Joanna, ETC, and Greymane in the top 3 pick spots. So Joanna was particularly popular, having been picked in 53% of games, banned in 40%, and with a 61% win rate. So commiserations to Probius, by the way. The little probe was the only hero not played in any Division 4 or 5 game. But Gazlowe did make an appearance, and actually, funnily enough, Gazlowe had the highest win rate of any hero here, with 100% win rate in 2 games. Although Cassia is the kind of highest win rate with, more than a handful of games. At 20 games, 75% win rate. The biggest hero pool was shown off by Cesar86 of Hands Up and Eldoror of Twitch.tv/Caldor. They both had 14 heroes played this season, so showing off some real hero pool diversity there. Back to you, Nasha.
Well, once again, there's a lot of interesting things to be taken from the numbers, especially the part about the Battlefield of Eternity getting more and more popular. The more of the higher we get in the divisions, we'll see how much that map will be played in the upcoming weeks as we head into the Epic Cup playoffs. To do that, we need some groups, and to get some groups, we need some balls. So I would like some balls on the screen as we draw pool number 1, the highest seeded teams going into the Epic Cup. That being loaded up right now, we're trying to prevent Robgate, and here we go. AFK for Coco, another team that's been around for a while. And Strider, what do you have on them?
Yeah, so as you said, they're a veteran team. They've been around here since Season 8. They have a strong roster of heroes, right? So this allows them to adapt to multiple situations. They rely a lot on Malfurion plays, and they have a good record on, for example, Tomb of the Spider Queen. They have a 100% win rate on that map. And they seem to rely a lot on their Hanzo actually goes Lull Strike, so Dragon Strike, and into an Entomb with the Ring of Frost and the Blessed Shield. So that's kind of one of their stable combos.
The like
Which
the Rumble
is-
combos.
Yeah, and so I guess you could call it Dungeons and Dragons, I suppose, here with the Entomb and the Dragon Strike.
What about Schmerglings?
Schmerglings. Nice. So so Schmerglings here, they've also been on for a while. They've been here since season 7. They seem to like an extra thick front line, so 2 meaty heroes in the front with some strong burst. And they're actually one of the only teams to have beaten AFK for Coco, so that could be very interesting here. And who else do we have here? We have Team Baby Rage, and for sure, Team Baby Rage here is another long-time team. They also rely, as we saw earlier in the statistics, they also rely a lot on Joanna and Greymane as well. We saw Greymane and Joanna also some of the most picked heroes. They're quite a resilient team. They've won matches where they were down 20 kills, about 10 kills. So they're a strong team. And Unstoppable here is also, so Unstoppable is a new team, and they did try for Division S. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it, but that doesn't mean that they don't have good points. So they gravitate around one specific type of composition, but they have various hero pools. They have a deep hero pool. So, for example, Kalfa, CTC, and Stukov are some of their most played heroes, and you can imagine the combos that are set up here with the power slide and the silence.
Interesting, especially with the team with Division S aspirations there, as we have all the top seeded teams drawn into their groups who they're gonna go up against. We'll see in a second here as we're gonna bounce some more balls. First, it's a Slot Sanctuary, and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say anything about them as I'm on their roster. And yes, I did play one game this season. On my trusty Sylvanas. So yeah, Strider.
Well, yeah. So the Slots, I think we played against them as well. So as we know, that a longtime team. They have had mixed results when trying to get to the group stages, right? So sometimes it's managed, sometimes they haven't. That's going to be interesting. So they're with Unstoppable, Sloth Sanctuary, and Unstoppable. They haven't played this season, so that could be interesting. They rely on the sloths. Yeah, so they play on a wide variety of maps. They don't really seem to gravitate about anyone in particular. But what else do we have here? Something wrong with AFK for Coco. Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting here. They've lost previously to AFK for Coco, so we'll see how they get along with that.
Immortal.
Diablo Immortal. Yeah, Diablo Immortal, you're right. So yeah, they have they're another one where they try to set up the Greymane. They play a lot of Greymane 11 picks. So they try to set up the Greymane with an ETC and just get quick kills like this. They have tried different heroes, like Valeera, sort of non-meta, perhaps we could say non-meta heroes. But although they didn't win some of those particular matches, they were annoying that the enemy banned Valeera. And we'll see here. So Team Baby Rage and Diablo Immortal have played before, and it went to Baby Rage. So we'll see what happens there.
That's something. And then they had the last team, XLS, up against Schmerglings in Group D.
XLS, yes, they're a strong team as well. I don't think they played against the Schmerglings before. But yeah, the Schmerglings here, they've had a very successful use of Vala with a variety of healers, and so we'll see how XL5 can sort of deal with that and sort of try to shut down those Vala plays.
Yeah, I saw someone mention that Group B looks scary. Personally, I'm Group C, seeing how Unstoppable tried for Division S, and rumors have it that Slot Sanctuary are also aiming for Division S next season. So we'll see how Group C will play out. But first, we need to see what other teams gonna go into it, as we're gonna go on to the next group of seeded teams. Here we have Johnny Sins Butt Buddies.
Butt Buddies, yeah. So I think it's a reference to Caldor. Apparently, he looks a lot like Johnny Sins, so I guess they're Butt Buddies or something. But yeah, no. So so we'll see. So a good strong start here. The top of Division 5 here with the same group as Division 4. So that's going to be interesting for sure. The Butt Buddies, they have a strong Valera. They have a strong healer main. So they land those Deckard roots when they need them. They have a deep hero pool with different options for each role, so they aren't really constrained by drafting bans and things like that. So it's going to be interesting. They for sure could put up a fight against AFK for Coco.
Ah, cool. And then Mustaches was the next team headed into Group D.
Mustache, yeah. So Mustache is another. They have their hero win rates are quite wow. So for example, Malfail, they have 100% win rate on 10 picks. Lunara 100% win rate on 8 picks, so they have like big woofs hero win rates here, and their soul laner really does quite well with the double soaking. So they have tools at their disposal that they need to come up from this group, but we'll see if they manage to put that to use.
Then it was in Group B, Team Baby Rage and Diablo Immortal getting joined by Tactical
Suicide, yeah. So I think we played against them. So Nexus Most Wanted played against them Division 5 and Division 7, and they beat us both times. And so they're a very strong team. They have a very good Lunara player, 100% win rate with 7 picks, right? They did lose against Baby Rage in last season's group stage. So they don't get them again this time. So we'll see how that goes. Yes, they do. Sorry, they get them again this time. So we'll see if they've sort of improved, how much they've improved. And another interesting tidbit is a lot of their matches go 2 games to 1, so they get 3 games per match. And I guess they're getting their money's worth.
They should be Group C. The Sops, Unstoppable.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. The Sops, we played against them. They're another strong team. They use Sylvanas a lot, and they also work around a stun chain with Blaze and Tyrande. So the Blaze charge in with the Tyrande stun, and yeah, we'll see how that goes against Sloth Sanctuary, and we'll see how those stun chains will be against Unstoppable.
Some really interesting takes there for sure. And I think rumor has it that the Sops also were considering Division X next year, but that's all rumors. I'm not gonna claim that.
Indulge.
Yeah. Just what I see, what I hear on the streets. But we have 4 more teams. The last 4 teams of the Epic Cup drawing. We're gonna get them into their groups and finish them up. First, we have Turtle Team.
Yeah, so Turtle Team here, they have struggled a little bit throughout the season, especially against the Butt Buddies. But we'll see how that goes this time. They have lots of tank options. They like their ETCs, they like their Joannas, their Nubaraks and Arthas, for example. So that they work around that a lot. And if they manage to set up their combos, they can win properly. I saw a couple games where, obviously anybody can win if they set up their combos, but they really try to work around those.
Cool. Then we had Oopsie Daisy.
Oopsie Daisy, yeah. Oopsie Daisy here, they do like a lot of this stuff of Division 5 and 4 here. They also work around Greymane a lot. And but Greymane on their team chooses Go for the Throat and not Cursed Bullet, which I prefer Cursed Bullet, but Go for the Throat works as well. Interestingly, Brightwing is regularly banned against them. So some people think that the Fruit Fly is a threat. But yeah, we'll see how they go against AFK for Coco and Johnny Sins Butt Buddies.
Cool. And then rounding up the Division Aspirations group is Pentatonin.
Pentatonin, yeah, they really work around their mage. The mage, they pick a lot of Ana and they work around with that. The nano boosts come out regularly, and they make the Li-Ming makes great use of that. We'll see. They've only played against 2 of the top 8, so against Tactical Suicide and Turtle Team, and they lost against Turtle Team but won against Tactical Suicide. So we'll see what sort of experience that helps them for this group.
Yeah, they at least have some of it under their belt. It's gonna help a lot. And then in Group D with Schmerglings, XLS, and Mustaches, Zooms.
Yeah. So here we have, I think it's 500 MS. 500 MS because I think the joke was that they play with a ping in their brain or something. I'm not calling them stupid by any means.
500 millisecond brain lag is the joke.
Okay.
Yeah, 500 millisecond brain lag.
Really quick, I had like lined up time to like talk about how I think I'm more shit than usual. But long story short, I'm on my Mac and it's much smaller than usual, and I pretty much can't see actually what's on the screen. So sometimes Pentatonic becomes Pentatonin and 500 MS becomes Zooms. So yeah.
Oh, no worries.
Sorry
Of course. That's okay. Yeah. So the 500 MS. So they play with some lag in their brain, but So as they're obviously, they may play with lag, but imagine if they didn't, they'd be unstoppable. But here they've played some good seasons, and we scrim with them from time to time, and they're a really strong team. They've really worked on their combos and heroes, and really widening the hero pool so that they don't get caught in draft.
Mm-hmm. Let's not forget they actually won the Rare Cup last season.
That's true. So the advantages are with them here.
Yeah, that's taking a step up, competing in the Epic. And no, you said, did they win the Epic or Rare last season? Rare. Yeah, so taking a step up this season. Gonna be interesting to see how they hold up against the rest of the competition. But yeah, Fengshen, have any thoughts on the groups there?
Well, I mean, 500 MS are personal favorites for me because of aforementioned reasons. I played a lot against them with them in the Division 7 last season. Aside from that, I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens in Group A with AFK for Coco. I think they've got some really nice opponents there, so we'll see. Maybe someone else can beat AFK for Coco as well.
Yeah.
Of course, Strider, looking at all these groups, is it Group B that is the group of death, like chat is saying, or
Group B? There are some reasons why. I mean, of course, AFK for Coco and the Johnny Sins buddies aren't there, but that doesn't mean that other strong teams aren't there. So Team Baby Rage, right, another strong team. Tactical Suicide. I'm seeing some good. I'm looking at all of these. I'm like, oof, all of these look pretty rough. But yeah, no, Group B is good. We'll see FK for Coco and Johnny Sins buddies. We'll see. I'm more leaning towards them because FK for Coco have beaten everybody else in the top 8 except Schmerglings. So we'll see. That probably works in their favor.
Would you say Schmerglings has this pretty good?
Yes. Schmerglings have a groups then? Probably. It'll be Schmerglings here has a good chance. Group A and Group B are looking really rough.
Yeah, now that is all the groups. Then we can pull up some polls, but of course, now that we have informed you of some of the background information that you need to vote, you are allowed to start doing it. Get your numbers in the chat right about now. You see them all on the screen. So start to vote which team you think will win the Epic Cup. There's a lot of initial votes for 500 MS here. I'm not sure if those are just fan votes or something to actually consider.
I mean, mine was a fan vote, I'll be honest.
Let's see, where do we have 5? Okay, there we go. throwing in my vote too. Maybe it's worth something. I'm not sure how much you lean on this, Strider. You seem like a very down to earth, down to the numbers, looking at the statistics.
No, so no. Like if we do look at the numbers here, AFK for Coco just really has a strong chance. But that doesn't mean the as we say, I watch a lot of hockey, and during the playoffs, the things are different, right? Players perform more than they're perhaps capable of, right? More than just their physical selves, right? And so we'll see what sort of, it gives a special energy, right? Being in the playoffs, so we'll see what sort of energy that those teams can bring, and I'm sure it'll be great.
What about these Johnny Sins Butt Buddies team? I feel like those are mentioned both by you guys and by the chat a decent amount. They went into as the third seeded team in Group A, but have the most amount of votes here at the moment.
Yeah, they as I said, they have. We'll see how they goes. They do have a strong team. For example, their Deckard. As I said, their healer main is really strong. Their Deckard, for example, 100% win rate on 7 picks. Those roots are just the roots, and the stay a whiles and listens are just impeccable. So we'll see if they can play around this healer or and then enable them to really win team fights and everything.
Seems like 21.2% of our viewers think just that. That's why they decided to vote for just Johnny Sins Butt Buddies, while AFK for Coco, the top seeded team in the Epic Cup, only has for 1.9%. But if that's the will of the people, that's the will of the people. That is the Epic Cup pretty much. We can see the groups again really quick, just so we have a last look. As they are not sorted by groups on the screen right now, I think. And the Rare Cup will then start with their group plays as usual. Then, as mentioned earlier, on the 22nd of March, that should be a beautiful Sunday. You can bench yourself in front of your computer screens or laptop, or just cast it to the TV in the living room, because then all day long we will play out the Epic Cup, culminating in the final later on that evening. That's something that I look very much forward to, at least as we see the groups here for the Epic Cup. One last time before we move on. Any last thoughts about either the Rare or the Epic Cup, guys?
Oh, I mean, I'm mostly looking forward to watching the matches on the streams here by the other casters as well. I think there's plenty of matches to look forward to. I've seen plenty in the Rare Cup. I can imagine a lot of these matches in the Epic Cup are also quite nice. So,
yeah. So just to echo your thoughts, it looks like it's going to be a very exciting Epic Cup for sure, and a Rare Cup, and there are plenty of teams here that could. It's really up to anybody's cup. It's anybody's cup, and it'll be very exciting.
Definitely, indeed. We have seen teams play out this whole season, but now everything is changed up as we're heading into group plays. A very good mix of the seeded teams going up against each other. It's going to be very exciting to follow it as it goes along over the next couple of weeks. That was the Rare Cup, and it was the Epic Cup, and that means we are halfway done. Coming up is the Legendary and the Mythic Cup. Those are the highest divisions in the Heroes Lounge amateur playing system. And so we're going to do the same thing with those, go through the balls, go through the groups, and see what we can figure out from that. We're going to have a break, of course, but before we do that, we have to say goodbye to both Fengtian and Strider here, that unfortunately won't come back after the break. It was so nice to have you guys here and help me out, so I didn't have to talk so much.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. It was so go right ahead, Fengtian. Sorry.
I mean, thanks for having me. It was a pleasure being here last time. It's been a pleasure being here this time as well. And well, looking forward to a lot more of this, because it is fun to just crunch the stats, look at the teams, and then being on here and seeing what I can come up with. So thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming, and same to you, Strider.
Yeah, I'll just echo again echo what Fengchen said. I'm very happy to be here. It was a fun experience looking through all the numbers, looking through what could be the possible matchups and the possible heads up and who could possibly win, given the information we have. And yeah, no, it was a very fun experience. Thank you for having me.
Thanks again, guys. You make this a much cooler experience than it would otherwise have been. Good old days when it was just me and Cosmic talking about what we saw on the screen for 2 hours. Thanks a lot for helping out with the stats and all those numbers. We're going to see more stats, more numbers after the break, at least if Karis is still with us. How are you doing up there?
I'm still here, and we're going to have, as you say, more stats, more numbers coming after the break. But I just want to do a quick thank you to Frank V, Lucas, and Sidonian, who've just subscribed to the Heroes Lounge Twitch channel. We do appreciate it at Heroes Lounge. It does help to support the league. So thank you for all your support, and of course for all the millions of followers we've had during this broadcast.
Definitely appreciated. And instead of running ads in the break, we're going to run some cool highlights for you instead. And instead, take 20 seconds to just shortly remind everybody that Heroes Lounge is completely voluntary. All of this is just because people want to create another place where people can have fun with this game, even if Blizzard aren't as supportive as they used to be. If you want to support us in any way, just clicking that follow button helps a lot. If you want to just see what this is all about, click the Discord button a little bit lower. If you want to support us, we do have a Patreon, you can sub to the channel and stuff like that. It's not asked for, it's just really appreciated. To show you how much we appreciate it, we've spent hours upon hours making the highlight video that we're going to show off for you. And one more time, have a short break, and then we'll get right back to you. So see you all very soon.
They've gone into the backline. Jojroxy gets the stuff with the Nubrak. He's going to get locked down soon enough, but the sleep and the stuns and the dragons are
back up now, though, so they could get an Abathur clone in here. Lovely stun, though, from Blaze and ETC combined. That's why they went for that combo. Can they catch the Joanna? She has the Iron Skin, starts running away. The Leaping Strike comes in, tries to catch onto Joanna. The Iron Skin, no! 11 HP!
Gets a lot of resets, tries to reach the bunker. Bunker goes down. Everything expires. What a stun! Are they gonna get more lucky on the Maiev?
Lucky! Can you catch Erica? Yes, you can. Very locked down. Does manage to survive, though, because of that massive self-healing he's got. And Malfurion's been destroyed by Chen. And now Chen comes the Boogie Wonderland, starts to chase Hanzo's already down. Squeaky, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, and down it goes. And there's the wind tunnel. It's absolutely savage into the corner for Irel and Sylvanas. Sylvanas can escape. Irel bubble hearthing just to tease the enemy team. That's what we might like to see here, ladies and gentlemen.
It plays 3 men. Rotation search in the meantime, but Combustion, Dragon Strike, Ring of Frost, and goodbye Zarya, goodbye Morphil, goodbye Garen, goodbye Vala.
This is absolutely insane. 3 members down. I don't think Jojroxy could do anything, even with the help of this Muradin on the Dark, played by Dark Wolf. I think he might get body blocked out here. The body blocks by Oxa. Does he have the jump available? The clap heals. Can you survive for a couple more ticks? He can! He can! Played by Dark Wolf. What a ballerina here by the Dwarf play.
Oh, got blown up, and Sidonian is on a roll. And there's the mosh pit to clean them up, and that is 4 kills. Iron Skin has now been used, and that means that she's starting to lose a lot of health here. Oh my god, did you see that 3-man wailing arrow in the back line?
Oh my god.
Damage.
Indeed.
Perfect damage.
Oh, huge flank from another noob with a nice light bomb.
Double stun, 3 kills.
Doesn't land it. Pyroblast.
Now with the Pyroblast. It's going to be enough.
Oh
yes,
my
it is.
God, yes, it is.
Boss zoning a lot of people there. The Haka goes down. Mal'Ganis tries to get some damage down. He gets a light bomb. Explodes by the Li Ming before it pops. Zeratul in the backline.
Oh,
thrown her with the double root.
Big boy root.
Earthquake follow up. Oh my god.
Hands arrow coming down. Does land though. Big arrow. ETC was on top with the light bomb as well. And that's going to be 2 kills. They want more here as Li Ming gets the kill resets.
Not in the best spot, but there's the blessed shield. Fall up. There's Strafe coming in. The cast into the wall. The big sun from Misha. And goodbye Exxon Black.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again. We are not nearly there at the Traditional Heroes Lounge Playoff Draw Show. Season 11 is how far we have gotten, which is impressive in itself. We have drawn the Rare Cup and the Epic Cup, so we know how the teams from Division 6, 7, and 5, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 4, and 5 will go up against each other in the upcoming weeks before their finals. And but we still have more to go with the Legendary Cup and the Mythic Cup. I am still Nasha, your friendly neighborhood Latino. At least that's what I've been claiming all these years. But I know that Heroes Lounge is a place for openness, for honesty. So I have taken a test with my heritage, and I've got the results. It's on my phone right here. So, in all honesty, when I say your friendly neighborhood Latino, I have to admit I am 0.8% Nigerian, 4.7% Iberian, 12% North African, 13.4% Irish, Scottish, and Welsh. But then to make it all better, the most sexy number of all, 69% Latinos. I'll take that. But as it's only 69%, I need a little bit more. And Karos, please tell me that you're still with me.
I am still with you, although regrettably, I don't think I'm 31% Latino. But you didn't tell us, Nasha, the key percentages, which is what percentage friendly are you and what percentage neighborhood?
All of them, all the time.
Oh, 100% friendly, 100% neighborhood.
Yes.
And 69% Latino.
Yeah, yes to all. It's very good that you survived through the break, that you are still with us, because we, as mentioned, have more to go. We're gonna give out more trophies. So let's have a look at another look at those beautiful trophies. There we have them on the screen, made by Eve, as you mentioned. And is it rare to mythic from right to left?
No, annoyingly, it's not. That's legendary on the right, I think, and then rare, then epic, then mythic. At least I hope so. I'm colorblind, so I'm probably the wrong person to read this part out. But yeah, I think that is the case. And as you can see, you can even maybe see some of the previous winners' names on there. I don't know if it's big enough for you to see on screen, but it should be. Yeah, so look, these trophies are really cool. They're unique, one of a kind. You can't really get them. You can't get them anyway except by winning a Heroes Lounge playoff in either Europe or North America. So they're very, very sought after.
Indeed, and I have to say I was visiting Morpheus, Legendary Heroes Lounge player here that many weeks ago in Germany with some other people, and he had his Heroes Lounge trophy that he won in season X. I can't remember 3 or 4 or something like that, and yeah, it looked pretty cool. But these are a bit more modern version, and I do really like them.
Yeah, I think when Morpheus was playing, actually, Heroes Lounge was done on stone tablets, and you had to just send the stone tablet by messenger to the village of your competitor.
Yeah, I used to cast by smoke signals.
Yeah, well, that's so it was a long time ago, but yeah, so the trophies have moved on a bit, and so has all the technology here in the draw show by the looks of things.
Indeed, and we still have, of course, Mr. Sembar behind all the buttons here, making sure everything runs as smoothly as possible. Sometimes, of course, there will be things, but we're doing our best here. We do also change a lot of things around on the fly, like cropping images, cropping cameras, and stuff like that. Some of that is being done right now because we have a couple of other guests coming up to help us out with the next part of the show, as we're gonna keep drawing teams here. Are you as excited for the next part as you were for the first, seeing how it all ended up?
I'm excited. I think what the viewer polls told us in the first half is that this is really an open competition, and the viewers seem to think that basically your placement in the division isn't a determinant of where you're going to end up, and you can really, we might see some real surprises in the playoffs in the weeks to come.
We might do. I'm looking forward to paying attention to that myself. But before we can see which teams are going up against each other, let's say hello to some new faces that we will get up on the screen here any second. First, We're going to say hello to Sidonian. And I can't confirm any of this, but according to Facebook, the Sidonian School of Musers is a thing. I have no idea what it is, but apart from that, it's pretty boring. Even World of Dictionary says Sidonium is a Latin word starting with a C. Okay, oh really? In addition to that, it seems to lead to a Facebook profile of some Danish guy, but it seems like a huge nerd. So let's instead wish our Sidonian a warm welcome.
Oh my, a huge nerd. Who that cannot be me. I'm sorry. I wouldn't. I don't do that video game stuff. But hello and thanks for that wonderful introduction.
Yeah, welcome to the show. You're going to be our analyst here, focusing on Division 2 and 3. I hope you're as excited to be here as we are excited to have you here.
I definitely am. It's been a great season, so I can't wait to tell a little bit about all these teams here.
Cool. We're going to get into it very soon. But first, we can't ignore the other face that we see on our screen right now. It's a guy called Aviator. And putting Aviator into Google, it immediately suggests I wrote it wrong. But pushing through, we found the hashtag Aviator on Instagram that doesn't really seem to make any sense, but seems to be filled with people wanting to be really cool. You can also find the profile smooth.aviator. That is an IPE Bikini Pro, whatever that is. And if that wasn't enough, if you play Scrabble, there is one exact anagram of Aviator and 81 other words that you can be made using the letters of Aviator. That's pretty good. How many of them do you know? Welcome, Mr. Aviator.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Yeah, I'm definitely a bikini IPE. That's clearly what I was made for in my other life. No, I think everyone thinks I spelled my name wrong because I think Aviator is normally spelled with an O, and it's normally a pilot of some sorts. But I don't know why I spelled it with an E. Maybe I did misspell it when I was younger, but it stuck with me, and that's my name.
Yeah. No matter how you write your name, we are very glad to have you here. You're going to be our special analyst for Division 1 and the Mythic Cup. Is that something you've paid a little bit extra attention to in the season 11 that we're putting behind us now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I might have had the easiest part of it all, right? I've only got one division and I've only got 8 teams to look at. So I feel bad for everyone else who had 16 teams. So feels bad, man, for everyone else. But no, we'll definitely cover it off after Sidonian's covered off Division 2 and 3.
Yeah, that also means that we can expect double the work from you, seeing as you have the team. So yeah, really looking forward to that analysis. But we are going to give you some help, of course, because we have Karis here. He has gathered all the stats, but before we look at the Mythic Cup, we gotta check out the Legendary Cup. We're going to get some numbers on it. We're going to get Karis to walk us through them. So what do we see here?
Well, you can already see Battlefield of Eternity sliding up here. Now it's the joint second most played map with Volskaya at 15% of the games. Infernal Shrines, of course, still in the front. Now, in the Epic Cup, we said that Probius was not played, but Gazlowe was. And here it's the reverse. Gazlowe was the only hero not played at all in Divisions 2 and 3, but Probius had 8 games, though with only a 38% win rate. As in the Legendary Cup, Auriel was the second most common banned in 52% of games. And that's chiefly been because of the fear of Resurrect since the changes to that talent. It's been picked in 80% of Auriel games this season. But interestingly, when she does make it through, Resurrect only has a 43% win rate, and Crystal Aegis only a 40% win rate in the Legendary divisions. If we take a look at the KDA stats there, you can see that Calypso 332 dominating 14.64 KDA, and Zlappy up there at 12.89. Now, bear in mind the average for the division is 6.21. That's significantly high. It's more than double for both of those players, and for Black's Pain as well. So, really great performance from them as looking at the strongest KDA stats of the 270 players who participated in Divisions 2 and 3 this season.
And we see Slappy and Black's Pain playing on the same team here, going from the logos. Will we see them and Calypso in the playoffs?
Yeah, Hippopotamus, they I believe they did not actually qualify. I'd have to double check that actually. Yes, sorry, they did qualify. What am I talking about? They placed second in Division 2. So yes, Hippopotamus will be in the playoffs, and actually a very strong contender with 9 wins out of a possible 10.
We then now see Deathwing being the most banned hero, and I have to admit, like as a Heroes of the Storm guy, I'm not as engaged as I was. How effective is he the times he would go through?
Well, I mean that's it's hard to say because of course it depends on the situation. Some people say if he gets through the bans, it's because the enemy team has picked the right comp. In Deathwing's case, it's not how it's working out. 58% win rate for Deathwing in the Legendary Cup divisions. So definitely a force to be reckoned with. Now, of course, that includes all those games near the launch, and he has been nerfed since then quite a few times. So maybe in the playoffs he won't be so impactful, but still, we're still seeing a lot of teams banning him most of the time.
Interesting stats coming out there from the Legendary Cup. Now we're going to have a look at the Legendary Cup participants as the teams are going to be shown on your screen in a second now. Here we have them shown by seeds. We're going to draw them into groups as we have done now a couple of times already. And of course, Hydonian is going to try to steer us through this as best as possible to get a little glimpse behind the scenes of these teams. We see some very familiar names here. First, from Pool 1, the highest seeded team, Dawn are Fedoras, members of the original meme Trinity, back from Season 2. Going to be bounced into a group any second now. I hope as we press the button, we're loading up some balls, we're preventing some Robgate, and Cydonia, and just get us out of the park right away. Dawn are Fedoras.
Yeah, Dawn are Fedoras, like one of the oldest teams in the lounge. They have been active since Season 1, so they will definitely know what they're doing. They have been in brackets. I think they've been making it all the way to bracket stage, like all the seasons except for like 2 seasons. That makes 9 seasons in bracket stage now. So they're gonna be prepared for everything. As a team right now, they're looking like a really, really strong team fight team, especially by like picking Uther 17 times. Ooh. So he's been nerfed a little bit, so maybe we won't see that much focus on him here in the playoffs. But it's gonna be interesting. So yeah, they went 9-1. So Hippopotamus here. So going 9-1, same scoreline as the Dawn Fedoras, definitely a strong contender. They do it a little bit differently than Dawn Fedoras. They go for the macro plays instead. They take us to big maps like Cursed Hollow and Alterac Pass. So I wonder if we're gonna see a rematch of them at some point. That could be pretty massive. So yeah.
How about Team Notzi? That's also a name I think I've seen around for.
Yeah, Team Hotzi, they have been around since Season 9, so this will be their 4th season now. They play a lot of teamfight maps, Infernal Riders, and BOE, so it's going to be interesting to see how they match up against these 2 big contenders we have in 1st and 2nd place. And we have the 4th seed of Division 2, Band of Brewers. Coming in, this is the 1st season, but it's definitely people that are known in the Heroes Lounge on the team. So it's just the first time that they all play together. Where it's going to see how they're going to do in here in the group stages.
Indeed, as we see, all of the top teams have been grouped out here in their respective groups. They're going to be joined by a couple of new teams as we're heading on to the next part of the drawing. It's the Battle Beast Boys, another very familiar name.
Yeah, Battle Beast Boys. They're one of those teams that's just been here in forever. They've been here since Season 2, I believe, something around there. So definitely an old team, just like Dawn are Fedoras. And I missed out which group they got drawn into, actually. They got into Group B against the Band of Brewers. So that's going to be interesting to see that matchup, especially because they have not been playing before. So Team Heart, next team here that got drawn. Been here for now the 2nd season. They got into bracket last season, so it's going to be interesting how they do. Getting into Group D against Hippopotamus. And why doesn't this work? Okay, so my thing with who played versus who just crashed, so that's going to be nice. But we have Smokers Extraordinaire getting drawn into Group A. I know this matchup because Dawn of Edoras and Smokers Extraordinaire, they met in round 7, and the only loss Dawn of Edoras have got this season is against Smorg Extraordinaire. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can do it again in these group stages.
Rumors on the street there. Aviator, whoever draws Band or Brewers, just ban Furion for a win.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got a limited support hero pool. Malfurion is 50% of the supports played. No, it's just a bit of banter between Transparent and myself. But he does play a mean Malfurion, so it's something to probably actually watch out for and ban.
Yeah, and coming from the top-seeded teams too, and with Battle Beast Boys obviously being a strong team, Group B might be looking a little bit scary so far, but we'll of course have to see how it all rounds out as we're going to move on to the next part of the teams. Here we have Lucky Play.
I don't think we have Lucky. I think that's a mistake. Lucky Play. Oh yeah, wait, no mind. I'm stupid. Yeah, Lucky Play, first seed in Division 1, going 9-1. Really had a strong season. So getting drawn into Dawn of Edoras and Smorg Extraordinaire, that's gonna be a super dangerous group. Oh boy, that Group A. That I'm hoping that no one I know gets drawn into that group. That's gonna be a tough one. So we have here the Hunk Goose Criminals into Group B with Band of Brews and Battle Beast Boys. As you were just mentioning, looks like a dangerous group. Now coming in with second place from Division 3 as well. I think that can definitely be a death group as well.
Karis. Battle Beast Boys.
Yeah, so the Battle Beast Boys have made it to this is the 6th time that the Battle Beast Boys have made it to the Heroes Lounge playoffs. As far as I know, they've never won yet. So this could be their season. This could be the first time.
Sounds like supporters of Liverpool, and this is actually their season. So yeah, this might happen for the Battle Beast Boys this time. But we had a couple of more teams rounding up the groups there, Sedona.
Yeah, so we had X1 Horizon getting drawn in. They are a new team that just started this season, but they have a mix of like players who has been playing before, and also all new players, which is their first season in the Heroes Lounge. So it's going to be interesting to see how these new players are going to come when it comes down to like the pressure that can be on some people once you're through the ordinary season into the group stages here. We also had Angkor, a team that's been here for a while as well. They started in season 7, and they haven't been to a playoff since season 8. So this is their first time in a while getting to playoffs. So it's going to be interesting to see as well how are they going to perform against like all these top teams, especially coming into these Division 2 teams. That is all the Division 3 teams that has that. Like how they're going to perform against these basically the top seeded Division 2 teams.
Yeah, they're might struggle against Hippopotamus, but of course, doing your research might always help. Looking back at this WoD might always help because there are tons of stats coming out here as we are continuing our draw. We have 4 more teams to put into groups here for the Legendary Cup. First is Clown Onebeine, Geile Banger.
So yeah, this again, we've seen COB, like they've been in the scene forever, right?
Yeah.
Geile Banger here, they have been here since season 8, so they've been here for a while. I think they've been in every single playoff since they arrived on the scene, except for season 9. So they definitely know what they're doing, and they're going to come in very prepared for this playoff for sure. Getting drawn into Group D with Hippopotamus is going to be a struggle for sure. That's going to be like that for anyone. So going to see how they're performing there. Then we have Dingshitas again. I think Dingshitas is going to be a big dark horse since they haven't really played any of the other top 8 Division 3 teams. So we don't really know how they perform against these other like higher seeded teams. So I'm really looking forward to see how Dingshitas is going to do, especially in the group they've been drawn into here. Then we had House of Fail again. Season 9, so they have been here for quite a while as well, getting drawn into Group A. That's a tough one to get into for anyone. Again, I call it when I saw the group getting drawn. It's a death group, so they're gonna have an uphill battle. I believe they can do it. I think anyone here of all the teams have a chance to go through groups. I think it's kind of gonna be an incredible close series all the way through.
Really quickly, regarding Clown's own COB, or Clown's own binary, which I think I got explained at some time means clowns without pants or without legs. Yeah, anyways, there have been 14 COB teams in Heroes Launch system. 14.
Holy.
That's quite a lot of groupings across the seasons.
Yeah, thank you to legendary Heroes Launch contributor Typhon Hawk for that information. But here we have all the groups. Aviator, you of course know of some of these teams, some of these players. Group B, is it the one that looks more scary, or is it the Group A with Donner Fedora as leading the charge?
I think Group B I think Group B is the group of death for me. I think Group B looks exceptionally strong. So you got Battle Beast Boys, Band of Brewers, Hanku's Criminals, and Dignitas, all experienced teams. Well, Hanku's Criminals, I think it's your first season back, is it Sidonian? But
We had last season as well.
Yeah, but you're all experienced lounge players, etc. You all know each other. So and Band of Brewers, it's their first season together, but they're all friends and they've all played together before. So I think Group B is group of death for me, but Group A could be the upset as well.
Yeah,
obviously Donna Fedora's got to the final of the cup last season, and unfortunately they lost out to Team Snore, who were promoted to Division 1 for winning the cup, but obviously they haven't qualified this season for any cup. So maybe it's Donna Fedora's time.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, they had a really strong run last season. As you mentioned, they were the runners-up, losing. I think it was 3-1 in the finals, but they were looking so dominant in the quarter and the semis. So yeah, it definitely looked like that. So the only team that Donna Fedoras has lost to, as said, is Smorg Extraordinaire, which they are in a group with. So I really think that the matches in this group is gonna be so explosive, so intense, and so interesting to follow.
Really quick here, we got to jump in, and thanks in Italy that hosted the stream for 80 viewers. Welcome so much. We are doing the Heroes Launch Draw Show here for season 11 on your screen right now. You see your friendly neighborhood Latino Narsha. Together with Sidonian and Aviator, we are covering the draw for the Legendary Cup. As you can see, the groups are beneath you now. And now it's a good time to join because we're going to get some voting in. You that are watching right now, you can vote on what team you think will win the Legendary Cup by writing the number that is in front of their team name right now in the chat. So let your voice be heard. Tell us who you think will win the Legendary Cup. As Sidonian, talk us a little bit more through this. Of course, Group B seems to be a really hard group, but Band of Brewers still looked really strong going into the draft. They not going into the draw. Yeah, you still think they should be able to make it through and then be potential winners?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Like Band of Brewers, they play a lot of different heroes, but they also tend to, like as Aviator said, they have a support who's like exceptionally strong on like two supports. Talking about Fury and Anna is he's really known for. But we also seen them like getting drawn into Oriel this season with the changes that got to her ult. Obviously, her being nerfed now, maybe they're back to this too. If you ban two supports, you auto win. So maybe some of the teams in that group can abuse that.
I think Transparent won't appreciate that as he's in chat as well. But yeah, I think it's a respect ban Transparent as well, right? It's a good thing to be known for two heroes particularly well.
Yeah, that is a compliment. Take it as that for sure. For now, though, the votes are pulling out Honk Goose Criminals to be the favorites to win everything. They seeded as number 3 in B.
So yeah, Honk Goose Criminals is my team. So I'm obviously happy about that. We came in second this season. We play a lot of macro. So please pick Macro Max against us. We will be very much appreciative of that.
So I've scrimmed V Sidonian and I hate it. I hate it.
That's usually the reaction we get. So we're hoping to get more of those reactions, getting the messages in Discord after being like, "Can you stop doing what you're doing?"
Yeah, I promise not to message you again afterwards.
But you guys went into Group B.
Yes, I think it's going to be a very, very tough group, as you're saying, with Band of Brewers. And I can't remember who were they.
Battle Beast Boys.
Battle Beast Boys, yeah. So again, it's going to be like two really, really tough matchups for us, and then we have Dingsitest as well in the group. I think, if I remember correctly, I can't see the group right now. There we go. Now I can see them. Thanks. Yeah, Dingsitest. And again, as I said with Dingsitest, they're a dark horse. They only play triggered newbies from the qualified Division 3 teams. So I'm really excited to see what they're gonna bring to this group. Like maybe they're gonna make a massive upset and just make 3 really, really fast 2-0s. Who knows? It can be anything at this point.
Triggered newbies, pretty low seeded team going into the draw, getting 13.5% of the votes though.
Yeah, they've been around since. If my thing here would work again, nice. So they've been around since. No, never. They are a new team. And most of the players, except one player, has never participated in the Heroes Lounge before. So it's really exciting to see also that they get this much love. But then again, have you seen that name? How can you resist it?
Well, I'll chip in here because I know Triggered Newbies, and I think they're a great group of people, and they fought against my team, and we had a really close match, and they showed some real strength in that. In what was a very tough match for us. So that's why I've cast my vote there for Triggered Newbies. They look like a force to be reckoned with for sure. But as you say, a new team to Heroes Lounge this season.
That is always exciting to pay attention to, of course. Maybe we can get the groups up on the screen one last time before we move on from the Legendary Cup that we now have drawn. Here we go. Well, look at that. So nice. That production value. Group A, Group B, Group C, and Group D you have in front of you now. So yeah, go start preparing. Either if you are playing to go scout your opponents, or get ready to set off time to watch all of these teams go up against each other in the upcoming weeks before the Legendary Cup final will be played on the 28th of March, Saturday, the 28th of March. Yeah, Legendary Cup. That was pretty much it. Looks pretty good to me. Any final words, Sidonian? Any final thoughts on it before we move on?
I think the final words is just watch all these games you can. I think it's going to be so intense. It's going to be a massive Legendary Cup for sure. I should have said it's going to be a Legendary Cup. I guess I missed my chance.
Yeah, I think it's a coin flip at this point. I don't think one team stands out to storm ahead because of the way the groups have fallen. So I think it'll be a really, really close matchup.
That sounds like the perfect framework for a very interesting tournament in my ears. Will be the Legendary Cup. We have one more before we can round out this evening. It's the Mythic Cup. Before we get into the Mythic Cup, we of course got to throw it over to Paris. Does have some numbers for us as usual, but I also want to ask if there's something different with the Mythic Cup, some special rules in terms of how it all works out.
Yeah, so the Mythic Championship is from just Division 1. So there's only 8 teams which qualify for this, like rather than 2 divisions going into 16 teams like in the other divisions. And they go into 2 groups of 4, and then the top 6 of those 8 teams will qualify for the knockout double elimination tournament on Sunday, the 29th of March. So with that in mind, obviously, because there are fewer teams going in the division, you'll see fewer players, and of course a smaller hero pool. Only 67 of the 88 heroes in the game were played in Division 1 this season by 136 players. I sort of coincidentally on 136 games. So that's a nice matchup there. Now let's talk about the maps, because I've been talking all the time about Battlefield of Eternity, and there you see it still in the top 3 there at the top level. But crucially, Infernal Shrines and Volskaya Foundry have switched places. So Volskaya Foundry, the most popular map here in Division 1, with 18% of the games. But it is very close. Like it's like 17% for Infernal Shrines and Battlefield of Eternity. So very close there. Deathwing, still the priority ban. But here's the interesting one. Anna comes in as a ban in the top 3, which you've not seen in any of the other divisions. And she's being banned in 32% of games. So these Division 1 players, and bear in mind for viewers who have maybe just joined, Division 1 is the top level of Heroes of the Storm outside Division S. Really, the top amateur teams in Europe are here in Division 1, and they really prioritize the Ana bands there. The picks, ETC, Joanna, Greymane, the same basically that we've seen in all the other divisions, except ETC's climbed up a little bit higher there with 54% picked in 54% of games with roughly even win rate.
Regarding the band heroes, how effective have they been when they have?
Yeah, so that's a fair question. I think like I say, we always have to bear in mind that sometimes when you let a hero through the bans, it's because you know how to deal with them. But again, Ana, really interesting one. Like we said, banned in 32% of games, but when she did get through, 62% win rate. So definitely very strong, and we can see why those teams are fearing her. By the way, Garrosh also very popular for bans in Division 1. So sort of similar to Ana, and he's up there with a 60% win rate as well. So Garrosh also one to watch out for in that division. So yeah, I mean, I think so. Clearly, there's a slightly different meta at Division 1, but that ETC Joanna Greymane that's filtered down into some of the other divisions, that is very popular as well. Of course, Joanna consistently targeted. I just want to give a quick shout out to a couple of players who've done, like you can see the KDA stats on there, where players have done very well. But there's also like Sen average has capped an average of 7.33 Merc camps per game. That's the highest of any player in Division 1. 7 Merc camps is a lot to be counting in every average. That's average. So phenomenal performance there. Most clutch heals across the whole division. Phoenix Z with 28 clutch heals. So a great performance in the healing role there from Phoenix Z.
Wow, that's some cool stats for sure. And of course, I gotta ask again, like I did last time. We see Kumishek and Daniel with the same portraits, and then Cockroach number 3 on the KDI stats. Will we get to see them play in the playoffs?
Maybe a first question to ask Aviator, because I think he's aware of these teams, but they play for the Nephilims. And Aviator, how have they done? I don't believe they qualified.
No, they did qualify purely because Hard for Decade aren't participating. So the Nephilims finish in 9th, but because one team dropped out, they then subsequently finish 8th.
That's a good point. Yes, so the Nephilims, so we will see them in the playoffs. So those KDA stats will be important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Indeed. On the screen now, we have we have the teams divided up in the pools. We see there's half of the teams as we had in the other draws. And as mentioned before, Aviator has then done twice the work on beforehand preparing for this. First, of course, it's pool 1.
I think we put a disclaimer on that, Nasha, but
Everything I say is completely true. Everyone knows.
Yeah, I think obviously Division 1 is done a lot differently to all the other divisions. This is the Mythic Championship, so it's a double elimination bracket. For the full sort of picture of the bracket, you can go to the website and go to the playoff rules, and you'll see the picture, which covers it perfectly. But predominantly, there's not 16 teams, there's only 8 that qualify. And interestingly, this season, the majority of the teams are all new. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 out of the 8 teams are new this season.
Oh, that's always interesting with some fresh blood. But before we draw the balls, because we can see teams are seeded up into 4 pools here. But how did Division 1 look like in general? The league play was it Hype Pew Pew that won all their sets, or yeah?
Yeah, so Hype Pew Pew and Hoya Paluki were definitely the top 2 teams across the division throughout the season. They've almost played every single team that's qualified for the top 8. Xenon as well are up there. They're in pool 2. But you go to the sort of the pool 3, pool 4. Pool 4, for example, Northern Exposure and the Nephilims, they've only played 3 teams from the top 8, and they've lost all 3. So there's quite a sort of difference across the division. There's a range of wins and losses. So the top teams seem to be quite close and dominate, and then the bottom teams seem to be struggling. So I have to see, because obviously they're quite new as well. So, and obviously you saw the KDAs, and that was on the Nephilims. So maybe they've stepped up their game throughout the season.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, like new player, like new team, takes a little while to gel and to get the synergy going and stuff
Yeah,
like
of course.
that. And yeah, if they can convert that KDA into some team fights wins too, then yeah, they might be a scary team going up against the top seeded ones. As we are gonna go forward in the Mythic Cup with the draw of the first seeded teams. That will be Hype Pew Pew. That will be drawn first. This is pretty much easier than the last ones. There will be two groups. Hype Pew Pew will go into either 1 or 2, pretty much, or A or B.
Flip a coin, and we'll know which one.
It's gonna be Group A. Hooray! But yeah, Hype Pew Pew, winners of Division 1.
Yeah, absolutely. And you were saying, Karis, about the Anna pickups and things, right? Hype Pew Pew picked Anna 6 times with an 83.3% win rate across the 6
Ooh.
games.
That's
And it was-
devastating.
Yeah,
That's
it was
like me-
banned. It was banned against them 4 times, and yeah, so you can clearly see that Anna has such an impact at this division.
How high win rate?
It was 83.3.
83. That's like me flirting. And then we have Hoi Polopi going into Group B, the second seeded teams in the Mythic
gloss
Draw.
over that bit. Yeah, Hoyopoluki again, a team that played exceptionally well. They actually missed out on a match, so they could have potentially taken the #1 spot, but they only played 9 matches due to not uploading the games. So they missed out on a round due to scheduling. So they only played 9 matches, and they had 8 wins and 17 map wins, and the 12 map score equal to Hype Pew Pew. But obviously, Hype Pew Pew played 10 matches. Hoyopoluki they've also picked Anna 6 times. And do you want to know the win rate?
Give it to me.
83.3% win rate.
Oh!
So both Hoyopoluki and Hype Pew Pew have got exactly the same Anna picks, exactly the same win rate on the hero as well.
Oh, I'm feeling like when they potentially meet, it's going to be like a Mexican standoff on the ban Anna button.
I've actually got an Anna statistic now, which is that in the Division 1, Nano Boost was picked in all games except one, where Eye of Horus was picked. And I don't know which game that was. So if anyone in the Twitch chat knows which team picked Eye of Horus in Division 1, tell us, because I think it's interesting that Nano Boost is so dominant at this level.
Yeah, and if it won, more importantly.
It did not win.
That's an anticlimax.
I had my hopes up for Horus, but
I was expecting and the Horus had 100% win rate, but unfortunately, Stats Corner disappointed.
I don't make up the stats. That's just the fact.
You should make it more exciting. Next year, make up some stuff. Okay, this is not Narsha quality thing after all. So let's not do that. Instead, let's move on to 2 teams. That's going to be drawn into group either A or B against Hype Pew Pew or Hoyopoluki. First is Xenon. Xenon that has a bunch of players that has been around the scene for a long while. But what can you tell me about them this season, David?
So Xenon, a new team this season, so it's a new roster between them, and they haven't picked Anna that much at all, but they've more favoured Malfurion and Oriel this season in terms of support. So Malfurion's picked up 6 times. Transparent in chat will be happy to know, but it only had a 50% win rate. So their highest win rates heroes, they like to play Samira. They've played Samira 4 times with a 100% win rate, and they've played Li Ming 4 times with a 75% win rate. And what tends to be banned via them is the Zeratul, which they've only picked once, and it was a 100% win rate. So whether they've got a particularly Zeratul player, but that hero has been banned against them 13 times.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I know for a fact I have been on a roster for like 10 of the 11 seasons or something, and that is a thing that teams definitely do. They make your enemy think that they have one trick pony on something, and they just waste the ban on it. It always works. If it really is like that though, with their Zeratul player, I don't dare to say.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those heroes. If you let it through, it could solo carry the game. So it's better just to err on the side of caution, I think, sometimes with banning it. But note the other team that's just come out, RIP HOTS BlizzCon 2K19. They're an interesting team because they've actually, most of the teams have sort of not favoured one hero particularly, but this team they've picked Kael'thas 13 times across the season with a 61% win rate. So I know Karis was mentioning about Kael'thas being banned out in the lower ranks and things, but this has actually warranted Kael'thas being banned against them 4 times across the games this season. And they also favour Garrosh and Sylvanas. And the Sylvanas has been picked 10 times with a 70% win rate. So watch out for that Sylvanas by the look of it.
Nice, good to hear. Sylvanas, my second most played hero. It's really good. She is still being picked by the higher skilled teams. That gives me all the confidence I need to keep picking only her with the occasional Nasibo. But
just about that Kael'thas, by the way. So you
Yeah.
said 4 bans against Rip HOTS BlizzCon 2K19. Those are the only times that Kael'thas has been banned in Division 1. So it's only against that team that Division 1 players are prepared to ban Kael'thas.
And there you have it. Confirmed by Stats Corner, who doesn't make up stats.
Yeah, so everything it says is true. We have 2 more teams that have each their own ball that's going to be bounced around. We're going to grab one of them first. Disgusting. That's going to be drawn into either Group A or B. What can you tell us about them?
So this is an interesting team because this is a Division S team as well as a Division 1 team. So obviously I didn't look at the Division S stats because I thought that was, not that it's irrelevant, but obviously we're trying to focus on the amateur scene as opposed to the sort of the semi-pro scene. So they have they favour Li Ming quite heavily. They've picked her 7 times and they've got an 85% win rate with her, and it's been banned out warranted 5 times against them, which is quite high really for one specific hero. I know Sidonian, you're a fan of Li Ming bans, so
I'm not a fan of getting Li Ming bans against me, that's for sure.
no, but obviously Li Ming's one of those heroes that can just turn a fight on its head, right? But they've picked Valor 6 times with only a 33% win rate as well. But going back to the Anna conversation about Division 1, they've picked her 4 times with a 100% win rate. So clearly Anna again just showing off on these stronger teams.
I'm starting to feel a theory coming up here, but I'm not quite confident to share it just yet. Maybe if you tell me a bit about the next team, Hoplita S, that got drawn into Group B.
Yeah, so Hoplita S, they've played 4 of the top 8 teams, and they've got a 50% win rate against them. They've played the Nephilims, they beat them, and they beat RIP HOTS BlizzCon 2K19, but they lost to Xenon and Hoi Paluki, the sort of higher top 2 teams. They favour Johanna, Hanzo, and again, Anna. 6 picks, but with a 66% win rate this time, and it's been warranted in 8 bans against them. So every team you see is just sort of picking up that Anna and getting that Anna ban or that win rate.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like you just seem to, if you're playing any of these teams, you just ban Anna or you first pick Anna. That seems to be the strat at Division 1 at the moment.
And yeah, we'll see how long that will take them, as most teams look to pick or ban her as we head into the playoffs for the Mythic Cup. But before we can round off the groups, we have 2 last teams to place into the groups. They're gonna get balls bouncing on the screen in a second now. First we have there we go.
Northern Exposure, is that?
Yeah, it should be. Sorry, my thing lagged out. Northern
Yeah,
Exposure, tell me.
So Northern Exposure are a team that started last season. They joined Division 2. They qualified for the Legendary Cup last season, and they got through to the semi-finals, losing out to Donna Fedoras, who obviously lost in the final of that cup. But last season, they used Sylvanas to great effect. They picked her 11 times and had an 81% win rate with her. They also picked Tyrael and Johanna 9 times with a 77.78% win rate across both heroes as well. But Sylvanas got banned against them 14 times last season in Division 2. This season, they've obviously had a bit of they're not doing so well as compared to what last season. The Sylvanas pick rate has dropped to picks 4 times, and it's got a 50% win rate. But they're also picking things like Chromie, Malfurion, and again, Anna picked up 5 times, but only a 20% win rate on the hero. But
Yeah.
out of all the other teams, this is one of the only teams that I've seen that have favoured Diablo as a tank, and they've picked it 7 times with a 57% win rate. So it's pretty good to see the Lord of Terror reigning again at the higher end of meta.
Yeah, haven't seemed like he's been as popular as the more standard tanks in ETC and Johanna. Going from the sets that we've seen so far, he's a very fun guy to play. So yeah, I support that for sure. But the last team in our draw, the Nephilims, with our high KDA players getting drawn into Group A.
Yeah, high KDA, but obviously they did actually miss out on the playoff spot, but qualified because of one team dropping out. Again, Anna, 5 picks, 80% win rate. So you can clearly see that it's a common theme across every single team across Division 1, as Karis kindly pointed out at the beginning. But this is a team that also picks up Greymane and Blaze. The Greymane they've picked up 11 times, Blaze 10 times. But they've got a 50% win rate on the Blaze and 45% win rate on the Greymane. But what seems to get banned out the most against the Nephilims is Johanna and Garrosh. They've picked Garrosh 6 times. Only a 33% win rate, but obviously it still warrants that ban against them. So lots of, I think the difference between Division 1 and such as the rare cups and things is that the meta tends to be the same at this rank, where everyone plays the same heroes, and it's all about draft. I think that makes a huge difference at this rank.
Yeah, you mentioned the Garrosh there too. Is that some a hero seen been picked more and to more efficiency in the higher divisions?
Yeah, I think Stats Corner, you kindly pointed out that Garrosh has been picked up more in Division 1.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it's definitely one of the top 5 heroes. So definitely prioritize more in Division 1 than in others. By the way, just to go back to what you said for a second about the prioritization of meta heroes over maybe comfort or less variety. You're right that 67, only 67, as we said, of the 80 heroes have been played this season. Now, part of that is because it's a smaller division than the other cups. But yeah, absolutely, part of it is because it's about meta, and these players are maybe more adaptable to being the top players, as we said, in Europe, to more adaptable to focusing on the meta rather than going for comfort.
Okay, we'll see how they take that into the playoffs. It of course is always interesting when a team has something exciting in the backup, and that of course goes a little bit extra for the Mythic Cup. Now that we know there are a lot of skills players that control these heroes, will we see some Cho'Gall or some Gaslow, some of those that exciting stuff? We haven't so far. They seem to be playing very, very meta. But now that we see these two groups and they're going to head into the playoffs, Sidonion, you of course also know these teams and some of these players. Will it be High Pew Pew and Hoye Polocki that will just trash everyone and meet in the grand final?
There's a chance of that, obviously, always, but I definitely think that some of those teams they can do, especially like I think Aviator mentions Xenon. They were doing pretty good as well in their division, picking up 7 wins. But we also had like Disgusting and Ripple Hot BlizzCon. They also managed to pick up those 7 wins. So there's definitely a big chance that they can go up and do some damage there. And even the lower ones, if they come in and they maybe preg a little bit more than they have, they have a lot more stats to analyze on their opponents. They can maybe take some drafts out here and just win in the draft straight up, because I feel the higher you get in divisions, the more the draft matters more. So if they can do some good draft, they can definitely deal some damage here.
And as we talk about that, we do also see that I'm sorry, that the voting is up on the screen. You can vote right now in the chat for who you think will win the Mythic Cup, the highest of Heroes of the Storm amateur play in the world. I will say I've claimed that for many years, but at least now it's true. We see High Pew Pew and Hoye Polocki both having almost the same amount of votes, but Hoye Polocki got a couple of extra. But it seems to be Northern Exposure that is the big fan favorite. But while we let the audience vote, all this Anna talk made me kind of curious. So I asked Karis in the back here how the Anna stats is looking for the other divisions, because she seems to be very dominant in Division 1.
Yeah, so I mean, we talked about. So she has a 61% win rate in Division One with 32% bans. It's a slightly lower ban rate across the whole of Heroes Lounge with 28%. So still popular, still a popular ban, and her win rate is a bit lower at 55%. But she's still, those are still good stats. Those are still stats that suggest she's a strong, prioritized hero, and it's something definitely that players in the lower divisions still have to watch out for.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think-
Amla's power level seems to be a bit all around, but yeah, Aviator.
I think one thing to mention, guys, you pointed out the Volskaya Foundry has picked up a lot more in Division 1. And on that map, I think you want sustain healing and things for the fights, right? So I think Anna comes into that quite a lot. So I think that could play an impact into the picks.
Yes, I will. Yes, that is absolutely true. In fact, globally across Heroes Lounge, Volskaya Foundry is the map where Anna is most picked with 72 games. And she's got a 68% win rate on Volskaya Foundry. So you've really got to watch out for that Anna pickup on Volskaya Foundry. Great spot there from Aviator.
Definitely. Yeah, and again, I think that kind of struck my mind earlier was it's kind of a high skill ceiling hero in the terms of you actually have to aim your heals, and like for us over 30, that's terrible. But yeah, in the hands of Division 1 players, the most probably mostly skilled players in our league system, she seems to maybe come to her own a little bit more than in the lower divisions.
Yeah, definitely seems to support that theory as well, Nasha, with the pickups. And that's an interesting fact there, Karis, that she has an above 60% win rate across all of Heroes Lounge on Volskaya. That's an incredible fact.
Yeah, 68% as well. I mean, that's a
That's
devastating win rate. Now, I will say that she does have a slightly higher win rate on Sky Temple, but that's only 11 games, so it's a bit more, maybe
Niche,
more
yeah.
chance based. But the Volskaya won 72 games, most played map, highest win rate. I would say if you're on Volskaya, you've got to think about banning or picking that Anna.
Yeah, and usually you pick her up with like a mage, right? So you've got that Jaina, you've got that Li Ming, and obviously people still pick Li Ming or build. Please stop. But obviously it does seem to get value at lower ranks, and some high ranks as well. Obviously, all builds coming out more and more.
Definitely commonly picked with mages, as you say, and the Nano Boost 95% popularity as the level 10 choice. And by the way, the hero she's picked most with, yep, you've said it, it's Li Ming. She's been picked in a lot of games there and has a 55% win rate in cooperation with Li Ming.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
That is some scary numbers, especially when combined with the map where she needs to control a point over a longer period of time, and that sustained healing really comes into play. We'll see how much she goes through as we head into the playoffs for the Mythic Draw Show. You can see the groups on your screen right about now. And interesting from the poll, it's HiPewPew, the highest seeded team, and Northern Exposure, the lowest seeded team, together with Nephilims, that were the audience's choice to win the whole thing. And who knows, they very well might. For you to find that out, you need to tune in to the Epic Cup finals that will be held here on the Heroes Lounge Twitch channel on Sunday, the 29th of March. That is definitely something to notice down in your calendars. And now that we have seen the teams, we've heard some stats, we talked about Anna a lot. What do you think, guys, of these two groups of the teams going up against each other?
I think this group's a different one, just purely because of the double elimination system. So, but for me, I really like Group B. I think Group B is a really strong group. I think Group A, I think HiPewPew might sort of take it. Perhaps Disgusting might step up. But Group B, for me, you've got Hoyu Paluki, you've got Northern Exposure, who are getting stronger throughout the season, Hoplita as well, and RIP Hot Blizzcon. They haven't lost that many games throughout the whole season, and they had a strong performance early doors. They've only lost 2 maps, and that was to Hoyu Paluki and HiPewPew. So I think it could be. I think Group B could take it.
That is interesting, and it also gives me some confidence that decently open, even though we have a couple of favorites, both with the people and from the league play itself. There are some dark horses here, and yeah, we might see some upsets in the coming weeks.
I think I would also add that one thing that's interesting about the Division 1 Mythic Championship groups, both of them, is that neither has undefeated teams or teams that are particularly dumb. Like obviously both have favorites, as you said, but there's the most matches anybody's won is 8 out of 10. Whereas in some of the other divisions there have been 10 out of 10 teams or 9 out of 10 teams. So here I really think anybody could take the championship, and it is wide open this season.
Yeah, and the same with the last cup that we just saw as well. I think that cup's wide open, and I think this cup's wide open as well. I think they're really interesting matches to come up and be casted by our casters in Heroes Lounge.
Indeed. Really cool that we have everything in order now. That was the fourth and final draw of the evening and the fourth and final draw of the season. Heroes Lounge Season 11 is closing out. We're gonna have the playoffs over the next couple of weeks, as mentioned, on the 21st and 22nd of March. It's the Rare and Epic Cup finals. Then on the following week, on the 28th and 29th of March, it's the Legendary and the Mythic Cups. I hope to see as many of you in the Twitch chat during that time. I'm looking very forward to seeing this all play out, at least after hearing our experts and the statistician expert talk about them during this evening. Wow, season 11, better trophies than ever. Can we have another look at those trophies? No, we can't. Never mind. You all know how they look. We have a picture, and the picture is going to be Discord, on the Heroes Lounge Discord. If you scroll a little bit down on your Twitch, you will see a button that leads you to that Discord. Go have a look at it. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of slots, and we're gonna post another the picture again there of the glorious trophies that will be given away to all to the 4 winners of the 4 cups. Remember, sign-ups for season 12 are open from midnight until they close on the 5th of April. So get ready for the new season that will kick off then on the 20th of April. 1 month then to get a group together, 5 to X amount of people, play Heroes of the Storm, have some fun, get casted, complain about the casters or not, send them love. It's all good. But just play. It's fun. I would like to say a big thanks to our previous guests, Fengtian and Strider, that joined us here before the break covering the Rare Cup and the Epic Cup. They did a fantastic job of helping out with that. So thanks a lot to both of them. And of course, thanks to Sidonion and Avier to join me after the break for the Legendary and Mythic Cup. Sidonion, you had a good time with us here tonight?
Yeah, definitely had. It was super fun to be here and super interesting to hear what both Karis, you, and Navigator had to say about both these divisions, and also Fengtian and Strider before that. So it's been really, really awesome night.
Yeah, thanks so much for being a part of it and helping out. This is not your first time doing stuff like this, but I hope it lived up to your expectations.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's my first time doing it with yourself, Nasha, and it is a great experience doing it with you, and I hope to be back sometime again.
We definitely hope to have you back again. Thanks a lot to both of you for your work to helping us make this draw show a little bit more special by actually giving some more thoughts and just instead of just placing teams into pools. But of course, you, Karis, you have done a lot of work all through the season. You've done a lot of work to prepare for tonight, and you've done a lot of work over the past couple of hours. Have you enjoyed at least some of it?
I've enjoyed at least 4% of it. No, it's been phenomenal. It's always great to be involved with Heroes Lounge. It is such a great community of players, and we're keeping a real energy going around competitive Heroes of the Storm. And I would also like to extend thanks to, of course, all the casters, but everyone who's been helping out with Heroes Lounge this season.
Yeah, and thanks of course to you. We also chat here that might be engaged to make a return. Maybe we'll see Dendro doing some casts for the playoffs on Channel 2. That's always a good time. I hope, of course, Karis, that we'll see you more on camera as we head on into the playoffs to do some casting. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed tonight being the voice in the sky and being the only one on this show that can do it naked.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit cold now because I've been naked all stream, but yeah, it's been good fun providing insight on these teams.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the work you've done, and again, all of you beautiful people also had with us as we're closing down the draw show for the season. Thanks a lot for watching. It's always more fun to do this when people are checking it out. I hope that you, with me, are looking forward to the next weeks of Heroes of the Storm Esports on this very Twitch channel, and hope to see all of you in the chat. And don't forget to sign up for Season 12 before the 5th of April. A special thanks, of course, to the Dinosaur Sembar for doing all the behind-the-scenes shit, and Penelope for putting all of us together and doing the administrative actions that most of all consisted of reminding us to do things. But very good reminding, Penelope. We couldn't have done it without you. That was pretty much all I had. That was pretty much all we had. If my PC comes back and it survives, I might get back to casting. But at least you will see me for the draw show for Heroes Lounge Season 12 and 13 and 14, as long as you'll have me. I'm Narsha, your friendly neighborhood Latino. It's been such a pleasure hosting the show for you. Hope you all have a good night. I'll see you in the chat. Good luck and have feeds.